7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 9 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. You know, my brother is a veterinarian. I know you know that.
Yes.
And I was at his office one time when he lived here in Florida. Now he's up in Oregon. But he had a jar, and in the jar were heartworms, and or a heartworm, I think. I mean, it looked like ramen noodles or ramen noodles. Look like, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is so nasty that actually can happen and grow in a dog. Not just in the dog, but in the heart. Whoa. Dr. Andrea Sanchez is on the phone. Dr. Sanchez is a doctor of veterinary medicine and the senior manager of veterinary policies and standards at Banfield Pet Hospital's headquarters in Vancouver, Washington. Wow, she's not too far from my Oregon and Washington, close to each other, right? Heartworm prevention and treatment. Good morning, Dr. Sanchez. It's an honor to have you on our show.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. It's great to be here.
Heartworm is a scary thing, right?
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, when you really do see them like that, with the ones your brother showed you, it's very unsettling to think that those worms can grow, multiple inches long, and they're getting stuck in the major blood vessels of the heart. Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Kidneys and they're pretty scary looking.
How come the body, not the human body, but the dog body, doesn't have a mechanism to expel it or get rid of it?
I know, right? I mean, that is how parasites work. Parasites adapt to their host, and heartworms have become very adapted. They really like the dog body and the dog heart in particular. They've developed to where the majority of their life cycle really works well with the dog's anatomy and the dog's physiology. So, for instance, heartworms can also infect cats, and in extremely rare cases can infect people.
Really?
But in those species, for us it's really, really rare, and usually our body fights it off. For cats, it's also thought to be somewhat rare, but their body often can fight it off, but only after a big battle, and their lungs suffer a lot of inflammation.
Really? Does it get introduced into the dog through a mosquito? How does it get in there?
Right, so a mosquito has to bite an infected pet and then go over and bite a healthy, uninfected pet. And when they do so, they inject the larvae, so the baby heartworms, right, into the pet's bloodstream. The larvae actually need that mosquito to go through one of their stages of development. So where there are mosquitoes, there will be heartworm disease, particularly in this country and particularly in states like Florida and throughout the southeast states.
And what are some of the signs of the pets if you think they might have heartworms? What does a dog do? Is there something that he does to make you aware there's something wrong?
Right. I get asked that question a lot, and unfortunately that is a really tricky one. It's really difficult to know if your pet actually has heartworm disease, dog or cat. And that's because we usually only see signs of heartworm disease once the pet has developed congestive heart failure, meaning that you see it once the heartworms have matured to the point where they've done irreversible damage to the heart tissues, the major blood vessels, and the lungs, and sometimes other organs. We would much rather it not get to that point. We'd much rather test it before it ever gets to that point. But if it does, what you're going to see in congestive heart failure are things like coughing, unwillingness to walk or play as long as they used to, sometimes dizziness, difficulty breathing, excessive panting. All those are signs of congestive heart failure. Again, if we're seeing that, it might be too late.
So is it an easy thing to prevent, or is it complicated? How do we do this? Is this something over the counter we can use?
Exactly. Well, there's nothing over the counter. All these drugs are FDA approved and therefore have to be prescribed by a licensed doctor.
Okay.
But it is easy to prevent. As long as your pet sees their vet regularly, meaning checkups twice a year, your pet will also be running a heartworm test on your dog once a year, and then can prescribe heartworm prevention. Heartworm prevention is very effective even if your pet is getting bit by mosquitoes every month. What the heartworm prevention does is it prevents those larvae, so those baby heartworms, from ever maturing inside the dog's circulatory system.
Is it a shot? Is it a pill?
Yeah, it depends on the dog. So my dog at home, Frankie, he gets a ProHeart injection every 6 months, and he's covered. He's protected against heartworms year-round, no matter how many mosquitoes happen to bite him. The dogs that I have here with me today in the studio, one of them, Oliver, takes a monthly pill called Trifexis, which also covers him against fleas and protects him against intestinal worms.
That's good.
So you can sometimes get multimodal pills that you have to give every 30 days. Lots of different options. Cats can get Revolution topical drops placed on their between their shoulder blades once a month. It really, the option that you choose, they're usually very affordable and effective, and you just need to talk to your vet about which one is right for your pet and your lifestyle and your budget.
And that's a prescription.
It is prescription. Yes,
is Frankie a dachshund? I'm just curious if Frankie is a dachshund.
Is he what?
A dachshund. Is Frankie a dachshund?
He's not. No, Frankie is a pit bull mix that I found on the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I don't have my dog anymore. She died. Was she 15 or 16? And I had to actually put her down. She was so bad toward the end, but I loved her. She was part what you just said, mix pit bull, and I don't know what the other part was, but she was an amazing dog. I loved her so much.
Yeah, she was so great.
Don't you?
So sad.
That's the only problem with dogs. They die. I hate that.
Yeah.
So everything dies.
Because we live in Florida, are heartworms more prevalent in the hotter states than, say, up in Minnesota or Wisconsin?
So we do know that, here's the thing, we know that heartworm disease is present in all 50 states, and we know that it's a risk all year round. I mean, the INFIB collects data from millions of pets all across the country, and we've had positive heartworm results from dogs that have never left their state in every state. So we know it's everywhere. That being said, it's much more common. We have way higher rates of it in the southeastern United States, and Florida in particular. So we think that that's due to the moist, humid climate. We haven't proven the connection yet, but moist, humid climate means more standing water. Mosquitoes need standing water to breed and reproduce. And where there are mosquitoes, there is heartworm. So we're always particularly concerned in places like Florida, where we see a lot of.
So you have everything here. You have dog lovers, and you have the water, and you have the heat and the mosquitoes. Doctor, before we say goodbye, I know you're doing a lot of these. Thank you for doing this. Do you have a website you can direct us to?
Absolutely. If you want to find more about heartworm disease and other common diseases in Florida, you can go to Banfield's stateofpethealth.com. So that's our State of Pet Health report, stateofpethealth.com. Or if you want to know more about heartworms in particular, heartwormsociety.org is a great website full of information.
Wow, there's a society for that. Okay, heartwormsociety.org. And Banfield, State of...
State of Pet Health.
State of Pet Health. Okay. All right. We'll make sure we attach those links onto the podcast after we get it up. Doctor, thank you for being on the air with us today.
Great. Well, thanks for having us.
You are welcome. We will take a little break and be right back.
Broadway's mega hit Mamma Mia is live on stage at Ocala Civic Theater May 17th through June 17th. ABBA favorites like Dancing Queen, Super Trooper, and Mamma Mia are all part of the fun musical about what happens when you surprise your mom by inviting all three men who might be your dad to your wedding. On sale now, 352-236-2274, or buy online at okalacivictheater.com.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast